Hey everybody, and welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. So today, it's BookList Thursday, first one of 2021. Thankfully, start this year out on a high note. I think so, because it's one of my favorite series we do for BookList Thursday. We are going to talk about our 5-star predictions follow-up today. So BookList Thursday is something I do with Sarah over at Sarah's Nightstand. We come to you every Thursday with some sort of book thoughts, ideas, recommendations, something bookish related. So we've been doing this kind of 5-star predictions series for a while actually, and last year we started inviting guests to do it along with us. And so this last round we partnered up with Brittany from the Continuing Chronicles to do this round of 5-star predictions, and she had the genius idea of picking sequels like in series, or the next book in a series that we're reading that we think are going to be 5 stars. It was genius. So thank you, Brittany, for doing that, because you got me to pick up the next book in 5 series that I am currently in the midst of, and continue to make progress in them. One of them I finished a series. Another one, I'm 1 book away from finishing the series. The other 2 I picked up the next book. The other 3 I picked up the next book. So genius idea, Brittany, you are amazing. And if you want to check out Brittany's channel, her channel will be linked below, as well as Sarah's, of course. Go check her out. She does not have the subscribers that she needs, and she is fantastic. I love her. I love her energy. She's amazing. So let's talk about what I did read and what I thought. Spoiler alert, they were not all 5 stars, but that's okay. Like, I'm fine with that. Nothing was low. Like, I guess I'll start with like my lowest ranked book, maybe. Yeah, maybe we'll do that. I kind of like that. So the 5 books that I read, the one that I would say I ranked the lowest star rating was Tower of Dawn by Sarah J. Maas, which is surprising because she has consistently been like 5-star reads for me. But this, I believe, what is this, like the 6th book in the series, the Throne of Glass series? I'm not even sure what order. I want to say it's like the 6th book, I think. 5th book? 6th book? I don't remember. Anyways, this takes place in the same time period that Emperor of Storm took place, which Emperor of Storm was like one of my favorite books of the year this last year. And this one just was a little bit of a miss. This could have easily been a novella. We're talking over 600 pages here. That probably could have been pared down to maybe 300. So it just dragged on a little bit more than it needed to. There definitely were parts of this book that were fantastic. I want to say I give this like a 3.5 stars. I think on Goodreads I rounded it up to 4, but not quite what her other books have delivered for me, I guess. I did buddy read this with Sarah, and her and I have similar feelings on it. It just was a little bit slow during parts of it. Still good. Still need to read it because you need to understand what happens. This one follows Kale as Kale and Selena, will say, part ways at the end of Queen of Shadows. And so this follows what he did while Emperor of Storms was taking place, which followed Selena or Aelin, or however you want to. I don't want to complicate things, but so it's interesting to kind of see those parallels. I'm glad that I read it the same, somewhat shortly after I read Emperor of Storms. Otherwise, I probably would have forgotten where the parallels were. But now I have 1 more book left to go. It's over there. It's a junker. And then we'll be done with this series, which I'm super excited for. So 3.5 stars. Still need to read it. It's fine. But there's definitely parts in here you could have skimmed. Definitely. Next rating we'll say was a 4 stars. I read Pray for Silence by Linda Castillo. This was the 2nd book in her Kate Burkholder kind of detective series, or no, she's chief of police, I should say. Linda Castillo writes a really awesome series of books that follows Kate Burkholder, who's the chief of police for a very small town in Pennsylvania city that has a lot of Amish population in it, and it tends to have crimes that center around some Amish family, and she's got to solve it and figure it out. And then there's some relationships involved that kind of go from book to book that you follow along with Kate. But this one was a good one. This was a big graphic. Like, was not expecting that. Kind of surprised me a little bit, but still gave it 4 stars. I think they're good reads. I think it's a good series for me to pick up 1 or 2 books a year and kind of keep going. I don't think it'd be a series I would like binge all of them, but still good. I liked it. The other one I read was Blood Oath by Melissa Lenhart. This is the second book in the Sawbones trilogy, I believe. This one I gave 4 stars. And this is really a tough wrap up to do because these are continuations in series, and so you don't want to say too much about what's going on. But this series follows Laura Ellison, and this is taking place in the late 1800s. She is training to be a doctor, which in that time period was not common for a woman to do. And I believe she was living in New York training to be this doctor, and she gets framed for murdering somebody, and she didn't do it. So she runs and kind of heads west to avoid getting arrested and convicted because it was a fairly wealthy person, and it was kind of like, yeah, she didn't do it, but she was going to be found guilty some way or another. And kind of finds herself in very interesting situations and troubling situations, and she knows she has to not stand out as being this female doctor, but she just can't help it. There's Indians involved, there's cowboys involved, there's lawlessness involved. It's just a great, like, Old West adventure type of a series. Again, there's more twists than I expected there to be. Oh, there's a big one in this one that I did not see coming, and I should have, but I didn't. But it was fantastic. It was 4 stars. I can't wait to read the next book. I have somewhere on my shelves in the trilogy, but I really like this, especially when I want like a good old Western Lonesome Dove feel of a historical fiction book. Go for this series for sure. And then we come down to our 2 5-star books that I read for this 5-star predictions round. I had 2 of them, which is decent. Of course, Wundersmith, The Calling of Morgan Crow by Jessica Townsend was a 5-star prediction. This is the second book in the Nevermore series. I thought it was going to be a trilogy, but I think there's more than 3. And this one follows obviously the events that happened after Nevermore. So Morgan Crow is kind of raised as this cursed child. Like, bad things just follow her around. She's supposed to die on her 11th birthday. She ended up not. This man named Jupiter North came from Nevermore and basically rescued her and said, hey, come with me and go to Nevermore and live, or stay here and basically die. So she goes on this adventure to this magical place called Nevermore that has these awesome Magnificats that is just this really, really great place. It's got a Wonder Society. So there are Harry Potter vibes with this book, with it not being a copycat Harry Potter. It just gives me the same feels that I had when I was reading Harry Potter. So you have this, and there are parallels. She's going to this magical school she didn't know about. She has a not so great teacher. She has a great teacher, or great mentor, I should say. She has really close friendships. She is learning all of these new magical things about this place that they're living. It's got these really cool parallels without it being just like Harry Potter. So I loved Wundersmith. I cannot wait to pick up Holopox. I need to actually get it in my hands. I was hoping we'd get it for Christmas. It didn't happen, but we'll get it. I need to get that book in my hands. I actually need to have Riley read this next one. And it's a chunker of a book, but I read this like super fast, even though it was a big book. I had a lot of big books this round. And then my last 5-star book that definitely was my favorite, and I think it's because I finished a series, was Obsidio. So this is the Theilluminae files. This is book number 3. This brings together the characters that were in Theilluminae with the characters that were in Gemina, all into one place as they go forth fighting for justice, I guess I can say. This is by Amy Kaufman and Jake Kristoff. Sci-fi YA told in this really cool, different format. It's almost like you're reading through a case file, and we are reading through a case file to figure out what happened. I don't even know much about it. Just go into them. They're fantastic. If you like a good adventure book, if you like a little bit of a romance thrown in a YA format, this one's it. This is it. So I like how it wrapped up. I like how everything came together. I like that I was still left questioning things and remembering to pull things together from the other books. It was just a fantastic series that I read all in one year, which is another accomplishment that I don't usually make. So loved this book as well, gave it 5 stars. So those are the 5 books that I got done for our 5-star predictions round. Comment below if you've read any of these or if you want to chat about any of them. Lots of good stuff that we could talk about, especially this is, again, a weird one to do because I can't tell you all the details without spoiling the series for you. Otherwise, head over to Sarah and Brittany's channel and see what they had and how their 5-star prediction round went. Otherwise, like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lindsey's Little Library. You say hi. You say hi to everybody. You're a good boy. Thank you. Notes, kisses from a kitty who thinks he's a dog some days. Anyways.